What is up, guys? I am back. And no, you're not seeing things. Weekly uploads are here. Let's get into it. So for this week's video, I have some Make It blocks. So we have right here the Sydney Opera House, a military. I love me some military. Then we have a police. That's a weird looking helicopter. You've only got one support. I don't know. This is weird. very low detail. And then we have police car with our favorite minifigure design. Just a lump of plastic with a head. Let's see if these boxes have anything special on them. No, these seem to be the old Make It blocks, if that's the case. Last week's video, in the description, I included a archive.org link that has all of the fake Lego instruction sheets I have covered since the Wish Legos. So if you want to make these yourself without Make It blocks and get some quality components, you can do that. So I will have the instruction sheets linked down below. Now, you might be saying to yourself, this looks kind of random. So why are you doing the Sydney Opera House alongside a military and then police? There's no theme here. And you'd be right, because there is none. These are just the leftovers. These are the last Make It blocks I have that are not like a themed video. I should have a video about these in a few weeks once I get that edited together, so that'll be interesting. But other than that, and these dinosaurs I covered in last week's video, I'm out of Make It blocks. So I'm gonna have to go find other stuff. I think, like I said in my last one, there's a bunch of Zuru products at my Dollar General, so maybe I'll cover those. I don't know. So I think let's start off with police. I'll save the Sydney Opera House and military for the end. So just like normal, I will do a time lapse. Last week's time lapses were only 20 seconds long, so maybe I'll do it 20-second long time lapses from now on. Who knows? Let's do the helicopter first. Why not? Time lapse, go. This was interesting. So first off, one thing I noticed is that these two segments right here, we have these two slanted 2x2s, I think that's what they're called. They are only supported by these top and bottom pieces, this round bottom and then these top propeller pieces. So there's no cross section between these bricks. So all these one stud squares, there's not much support there. So you can easily just kind of break it if you were hard enough. It deforms kind of like that, and it's weird. You could have, if these were the older Make It blocks, like before $1.25 tree, maybe there would be more material here, but I don't know. This one's, it's kind of along the same lines as last week's video, where it's just a tiny little thing, not even to any sort of scale. I think these might actually be to scale, so maybe like a 1/100th scale or something. I don't know. They're very tiny and abstract, kind of like, well, I don't know, kind of like anything. So we've got a tiny police helicopter. And next up, we have this tiny police cruiser. I would guess that's what it is. I don't know. This one has 26. This one only had 25. So maybe this one will be more quality with the extra the extra pieces. Alright, now I've got an immediate positive about this little police cruiser. It's a nice little build, to be honest, because unlike these other construction sets I built, there is no person. But in this one, there's a cop. So at least you can say something about that there. I don't know how popular this would be nowadays with the current climate around police, but I'd say this was a pretty cool build regardless. Yeah. A good thing, I got extra pieces, so here's a little 1x4, I think, and then whatever custom piece this holds the wheels on. The wheels spin smooth, the pieces, they all went together real nicely. They weren't as nice as Lego, but of course, plastic's not gonna be as good. So that was both of the police. Let's see what military has to offer. I think in one of my earlier videos, I covered something very similar to this, but it came in a 3-pack, so it's probably different. But not by much, most likely. Let's get to building. Now this one is probably the most creative build of them all. You've got a whole bunch of these small pieces that all come together and combine with this main Juniper International support beam, and they all connect and they all kind of just exist together. It's really cool. And then they also used a bootleg lightsaber piece as what I can only assume as the machine guns. So that's a little weird. I don't know how they would have gotten the mold for that. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how any of this works, because Legos, they're made in Denmark, aren't they? And then shipped out all over the world. So it's not like China would have any of the things like bootleg Apple products where it's literally the same factory making them. Let's put that here. So we have so far a police helicopter, not the best. It doesn't have the most support. And then we have the police cruiser with the wheels. I quite like this one. It's an actual functional model that you can see what's going on. And then we've got this plane, really nice. It's a lot more entertaining to have this plane than it is a dump truck or whatever it was I built in the last video. It's really hard to tell, like this is a police car, this is a helicopter, but like, what is this? It's a cement truck, but it's like a piece of candy corn. Or this. I think when I was editing in post, I found a little chart that has these on it, but this is nowhere near. There should be a lot more going on, but they're just make it blocks. So I probably shouldn't be too harsh. They're $1.25. These are pretty good, I'd say, if you were going to be into this sort of thing. Now, last up, Sydney Opera House. This one is probably going to be the most creative, but it's also going to be very abstract, because the Sydney Opera House already is very abstract, but this is dumbing down a very complex design, so I don't know how this is going to turn out. But let's see. Time lapse, go! This has to be one of the most bizarre Make It Box creations I've ever made, because these are like some weird Mjolnir Mark V helmets slapped onto, I don't even know what these would even be called, that bend. And then you've got the helmets on top of the weird little legs. And if you didn't know this was the Sydney Opera House, you'd think this is some sort of fossilized vertebrae or something. It's so weird. So I think that's probably a do not buy. If you're looking for the Sydney Opera House, you could probably do a lot better. I don't even know if Lego has an official Sydney Opera House. I'll put a picture up if they do, but you could probably find something better, like custom made on Etsy or whatever. But there are the sets. We've got helicopter, police helicopter that isn't supported very well. We've got what I would say is S tier Make It Box. This is what you want, these little cars. This would probably be A tier, just a little plane you can fly around, and then you got lightsaber hilts if you have any lightsabers. And then this is F tier. This is bottom of the barrel, do not buy. So yeah, with that, see you all in the next one.